Alright, morning, ladies and fucking gentlemen. What a show we've got today. What a show. 2.6 Ellie Raider. Alright, so how's it going? How's it going on this fine lady? How's it going? Alright, I'm gonna rate the build straight off the bat out of 10. I'm giving this build a 6.5 out of 10 currently. Look at this guy's head, it looks like he's floating. I'm giving that MTX a scuffed 1 out of 10. Alright, so this build has a lot of scaling to do. We're going to talk about some of its pitfalls, some of its downsides as we head into day 3, 4 of the league, whatever we're on right now. And I'm going to run you through some maps. I'm going to show you some examples of gameplay and talk you through a little bit about how is it going. As we head into the gear of the build, this is everyone always wants to see what it's like before you do any gameplay. Look, this is what it looks like, guys, like this. Alright, that's Spectral Throw. I'm sure we've all seen that shit before. That's pretty much what it is. Spectral Throw. Good shit. Alright, so the build has sort of come a long way since we last spoke. When we last spoke, we had slightly scuffed gear. We're now on the Department of Semi-Scuffed. We've made 100 Chaos and an Exalt. Not much really at all. I've had 0 luck, no good drops. This has just been pure grinding maps. Really, absolutely no luck whatsoever. So we have managed to create 5 link and colour our Belly of the Beast. We purchased a Belly of the Beast, which has given us max health and some resists, extra gold, which we don't really care about. We've got some gloves, belt with weapon elemental, just some boots with resistant. I needed the int. My shield is there. The helmet is the Starkinger's head. Now you can use the Rat's Nest or the Starkinger's head because I'd say that the Rat's Nest is better in every way, but you miss out on 100 life, and this build needs every bit of life it can get. Ideally, I'd like to be at 6k to feel a bit safer, but we're at 5.6. The foil, you're looking for like attack speed, lightning damage, crit chance, multi. I'm kind of hitting attack speed and a bit of lightning damage. Crit chances are not the best. It should be at like a 7 crit foil. And ideally, I'd like to get multi on there as well. But then you're talking about spending a lot of cash. I don't have a lot of cash to spend. So that's kind of the gear upgrade. This has just got lightning damage to attack, life, and it's got the 50 odd in and strength that I needed. It's what Mathel will call a stat stick, right? And this is kind of where we're at. We're using the Wise Oak Flask because this bullshit means basically whatever the highest number is in the bracket. Oh, shit. That's actually massive. Did I scuff this? I must have added a resist on. Oh, I added cold resist on here, which scuffed everything. Because what happens is if you are the highest cap, when you throw something, right? When I throw something like this and I press the pot, you will notice that my cold pen goes to 20 over here. I don't want that to be cold pen. Obviously, I want that to be lightning pen. That's what I've been running all day. But I just added this cold on, which means I actually need to now find something with higher lightning or pay to remove that cold. So yeah, I'm going to have to fix that. But basically, that gives us, when I press that, with the 20 pen on top of that, if my resist were fixed, I have 56 lightning pen. If I get a Victor's, that's 66 lightning pen. 66 lightning pen is okay. It's okay. It's not Inquisitor levels, but it helps us, and it goes a long way to actually making the build better. So that's sort of the gear, right? That's kind of like how the build's taking shape. It's kind of taking shape okay. You know, we can demonstrate it in some maps. I'm going to show you some Uber Lab and Atziri, because those are the only real bosses we've done so far. So if we go ahead and we bring up this video, bear with me one moment. Display capture, drop that there. Alright, if we go ahead and we bring up this video that we played just before, this is just me running through the lab, and as it's running, I'll skip it along and stuff so you get to see what the gameplay is like, but I'll just chat about how I feel about the Uber Lab experience and what it's like to play this build. So I can turn this up. The build is... it isn't a lab farmer, right? I don't think this is a lab farmer. If you're looking at this build to be a budget beginner build for the league, I wouldn't recommend this. There's a whole host of things I'll go into when I actually bring out a guide and a completion, but as for now, it's like a diary of how we're going on with it and my steps throughout the league as sort of something for you to watch. The people that don't tune in for the long streams, you get to watch the videos. Step 1, or point 1, should I say, you are Vaal packed, which means no life regen in the lab. So you have 5k life and your life doesn't regen, which means stuff like this, those totems, lose your life and you never get it back, which means in tight situations where you've just skipped on a trap and then you get low and then you hit one of these, they do kill you. That's happened. My keyboard almost got sent to outer space when that happened, and that's an issue. Mana is a major problem. I'm still struggling to figure out how to solve my mana issues. People that have done this build don't even run mana pots. I have 3 mana leech nodes and I'm still struggling. I think I need to get enlightened so I actually just have more mana spare to throw out a first few casts, and then it'll begin to leech. I think that'll help a lot. But how does it handle the lab? So ignore this for a moment. Basically what I decided was, for the Uber Lab, as I'm showing you, I actually took off a life point here, and I just decided, I was just thinking about what to take off, and I put on point blank, because I tried the Uber Lab twice, and every time I got him to last phase, and I just didn't have the damage to kill him before he killed me, basically. So I just thought I'd try out point blank. I wouldn't recommend going point blank unless you're farming Guardians or Shaper or like a boss like this that you just need to get down. As you can see, you fight him, you build up frenzy charges. This is how the gameplay goes, and it's an active playstyle. You have to dodge everything, or you die. There's no like, oh, I got clipped by a Shaper Slam, but I have 13,000 energy shield. There's none of that. Like, you just get deleted. So the traps in the Uber Lab are a massive pain due to the nature of Vaal Pact, which you could spec out for if you are wanting to be a lab runner, but I wouldn't recommend this build for lab running even so. It can do it. Like, obviously it can do it because I've done it. And I could probably go ahead and do it again. This was just a showcase, by the way, fully buffed up, so it could be a bit easier as well. But I wanted to show like kind of what the gameplay is like on the traps, because I don't want to like bullshit you and tell you that, oh, this is amazing. Because honestly, this build is fucking painful for the lab, and it's painful for a lot of things. And the only reason I'm playing this build is because I want to. I'm not playing this build to get rich on PoE. I'm not playing this build to kill Shaper 500 times and show my EP. I literally just wanted a build that I could just come onto and farm some maps when I'm bored. And Spectral Throw does that well, because as you can see, it zips through like this in a map. I just didn't have any desire to play Flameblast or Essence Drain or whatever the meta builds are. So that's the reason we're doing this. So you can kind of see the trap gameplay, where you have to play it slow, otherwise you just get chunked down, and then you run out of pots, and then when you're out of pots, you literally don't regen your health and you die. So you end up in situations like this where you just have to take things a little bit slowly. And obviously, if you're a lab farmer, you don't want to be going slow, otherwise what's the point of farming the lab? But I wanted to show you can do all of the things on its own. It's not like you need to pay for an Uber carry. You can do it yourself. So as we head our way, we got our golden key. Skip. Alright, and this is, again, like, an example of how sketchy it can kind of be. So the general playstyle is pretty much stand still and just pray. You have to hope you're mana leeched enough and you're doing enough damage to leech back, otherwise, yeah, you just die. I'm not too keen on the whole slower projectile playstyle, to be honest, but I mean, it does do a lot of damage mixed with point blank. So you can see there's like a trap section I'll showcase here where it can kind of get a bit annoying when you're low on pots. And you just get in situations like this in the lab where you get clipped by a saw blade, then a dart, and then you don't regen. So then you have to use a pot. And when there's no monsters around in the lab and you've used your pots, like, you just kind of get pinned there and you don't want to clip it. Like there, you make a mistake and you clip it. So then your only choice is to basically, I have to go now. Otherwise, if I take another shot, I'm actually dead. So, yeah, you kind of just have to zip through and just get to the next pack of monsters to leech off. And it can be quite frustrating. So I wouldn't say it's a great lab build at all. Not trying to sell it. Not trying to say, like, some people will say on their guides, they'll say, like, because I've done Uber on my own, they'll say Uber viable. I wouldn't really call this Uber viable, even though I've killed it fully buffed up. Yeah, technically I've killed it, but I wouldn't really rant and rave about the build. Like, it works, but yeah, we'll skip it on. Here was the trap section where it gets a bit AIDS, right? It's this section here. Stuff like this in the lab. This is one of the worst trap sections in the game because there's not anywhere to pause to stop. So when you've got no pots, I've only got one pot left and I don't regen, you get into situations like this where you like have to go back through the lab, kill some monsters to get some charges, and then you just have to go for it, otherwise you're dead. And then you end up doing a trap section like this where you get hit by, you know, one thing, one spike goes up and you're dead. Luckily I got through it. And as we come to the end, we'll show you the final section. We'll show you here, just so we're not bullshitting you. He's got all the buffs. He's got 3 buffs there and he had 3. So, yeah, you can do Uber buffed up. You just gotta kind of commit, and it's not a great playstyle, but we've done it, so that's kind of a journey with the character. But yeah, I wouldn't exactly rant and rave about how good this is at Uber Lab. The guy's guide was kind of misleading when he said, like, Uber's easy, because I wouldn't say Uber's easy. Yeah, this guy's buffed up, right? But because you're on slower projectiles, you have to get so fucking close to the guy with triple buffed up. You know, if you like that, you have to whirling blades through slams or you just die. This isn't like a, if you're bad at the game, you can't, like, I wouldn't recommend this game. But I mean, you can do it. You get 3 keys, but it's kind of like sketch. So we go ahead and we pick up our points, and yeah, we get Avatar of the Vaal, which gives us a bit more damage, right? Right. So then we wanted to test our damage on Atziri. Atziri is, or should I say normal Atziri is a piece of cake. And this again, I guess I was using the wrong... I've messed up my resist as we spoke about earlier, so I'm not actually penetrating that much lightning, so I would do more damage. So I actually really need to fix that, because that's really important to have that flask up and running, because 20% lightning pen is huge. So it deals with trash okay. There's no real problems. I'm running like 2 or 3 League Stones, so they're a bit tougher to kill, but it's fine. But I'm kind of like elitist in the fact that I feel like any single build in the game can kill Atziri. I'm pretty sure I could make any build kill Atziri, because Atziri isn't like that big of a thing these days, regular Atziri. But I just wanted to show you, like, a few days into the league with some simple gear. If you wanted to, you could sit and farm Atziri if you want, if that's your thing. never killed Atziri before, it can do it. I don't know how it handles Uber or anything. I'm nowhere near that stage yet, but it was really simple to kill these guys. Slower proj. There's also a totem you can put out, Ancestral Protector, which would give you more attack speed when it's out, similar to Ancestral War Chief, that type of thing. And basically you just sit there, you build up your frenzy charges, and then you plow onto the second one, and yeah, they pretty much like get evaporated. The trash again, it's Spectral Throw, it deletes the trash. Trio, you go in with your charges up, so you kill a few mobs, you run in with your charges up, and you, yeah, like, it just kind of like shits on them. But you can even see here, this Chaos guy, like, that damage there, that tick down of damage right here, if this was Uber, you've only got 5k life, you're in deep shit. So I don't know how it deals with Uber, but does regular just fine. Actual Atziri, no problem at all. Didn't really find anything too difficult about it. In fact, it was pretty simple due to the fact you have so much attack speed. Probably, if you've been really picky, it's kind of annoying because you'd want to swap to GMP right here. And I hate builds where you have to swap gems, but with this one you kind of have to. But you're just basically keeping your frenzy charges up and power charges at this point. And the fight's simple. We've all seen Atziri 400,000 times by now. Watch out for the mirror, obviously. Basically, you just locate the one that isn't the mirror. This is the spear. And you can see how quick it dies. You know, you really are destroying regular Atziri, like, pretty simply. But again, it's no Uber, but decent damage. I wouldn't say it's like amazing damage. I wouldn't say it's bad damage, though. It seems pretty decent. I just dislike slower projectiles. The whole playstyle of getting up close with a build that's like... So the strength of Spectral Throw is throwing from a distance and leeching. So Spectral Throw goes against all that. Slower projectiles kind of goes against all that because you have to get up close. But that's like kind of... You know, that's kind of the gameplay that you're expecting from Spectral Throw. Mapping, we can go and run some maps right now and show you sort of how it's going. Display capture, turn that off. Turn that off. So we'll take like I don't know what maps I've got right now. Don't know. I think like we've got some red maps I'm trying to sell. Let's just do like a tier. Have we got any tier 8? So let's do a tier 8 pier. So nothing, you know, I'm not trying to say, oh my god, wow, this can do tier 8 pier or fucking whatever. Like, I'm not trying to say that. I'm just giving you an example. So just outlook this shit. Put some league stones in. We've also got an Atziri's Promise I just bought. I can't remember what flask I swapped out for. Yeah, a basalt flask I was using in the lab, a warding one to get rid of the fonts. So pretty much the gameplay is Wrath with Herald of Thunder. People use Herald of Ice as well. I still need to figure out my auras and stuff, but you can see like you build up charges. With all my charges going, again, this is kind of weaker gameplay because I'm missing out on 20 lightning pen due to that flask error we just made. But yeah, you can kind of see it's like 20k, I think it is, something like that. Yeah, 20k spectral throw damage, which isn't the best fully buffed up. People have got that without the charges, but you can see like if you just want to build to just chill on and just go through some simple maps, it's pretty nice. It just kind of gets fucking annoying when you run out of mana and you kind of, you like literally like stand there waving your stick about. But if you just play like this, you just hold the right click and just zip through everything. I mean, it's kind of like Vaal Spark. I just turn off my auras like a fucking bronze noob. You've got Vaal Haste and all that good shit. So you can see with Vaal Haste and your things up, you have 23k DPS. And yeah, you just kind of blast through maps like that. It's pretty chill. There's nothing too fancy about it. The whole idea is kill them before they kill you. If that doesn't happen, you kind of just stand there and leech. Nothing like, you know, no new game mechanic, nothing fancy like that. But it works, it gets the job done. Vaal Grace. With Vaal Grace up, I'll just kill these things. With Vaal Grace up, our defense is 75 chance to dodge, 73 chance to dodge spells. So that's why the guy runs 2 Vaal Graces. And that's why it's not so good at Uberlab, because its strength comes through like its Vaal skills, and you can't use Vaal skills in Uberlab. So yeah. That's when it kind of gets tedious, where you can't get mana back, and you kind of stuck attacking like this. Like, this is where it gets tedious, right? You've got slow mana regen, you haven't got any flasks, and you kind of have to wait. But generally, you just want to kill big packs and zip on through. So that's kind of it, really. I mean, that's how the build's going, like day 3, 4, whatever day we're on. But it's pretty decent. I wouldn't say it's... I don't know if I'm enjoying it. It's not bad. It's like... It's okay. But there are some issues with it that other builds don't have. And I think that's like where the problem is. Like, I'm going to end up... To make it clean to play, like, you know, solve the mana issues, solve the damage and leech issues, I'm going to have to spend quite a lot of cash. And do I want to spend all that currency onto a build that at the end of the day, like, let's be real, at the end of the day, it's got 5k life. You kill Shape, you do Shaper with 5k life, or, you know, Phoenix or Minotaur, you're getting bopped, mate. That guy's putting you 6 foot under. So, you know, that is the issue. Obviously, there are issues. You're not CI. You're not immune to chaos. You don't have access to a lot of the tools that, like, currently make the game broken. We're not double dipping. It's not igniting. It's kind of hard to spec LE damage well. So, it's not, you know, it isn't flameblast. It's not, you know, flame bowl or whatever it's called. Cast when channeling, essence drain, wither, all that, you know, shit. It's not anything like that. It's just a build that I just wanted to sign into and just blast through some maps. Because the way this game works is, honestly, when you're early on in the league, yeah, getting into red maps early gets you cash. But at the end of the game, it's just basically how much sort of you play. Doesn't really matter if you're doing a tier 15 or a tier 1 map. It's kind of that Vaal Spark style where it's just how many maps can you run. So I just wanted a fast map build. And it kind of covers it. But yeah, it does get kind of fucking annoying with this whole mana issue. So hopefully that will be fixed. That's probably like my next thing. And I need to, again, fix this flask. Because missing out on 20% pen is actually pretty huge. Well, there we go. There's a video for YouTube. Hi, YouTube. How are we doing? So, I'll ask, I don't know, on Twitch or whoever's in YouTube. Just tell me what build you're playing and if you're enjoying it. But that is like a 2.6 Raider. It's not a build guide at all. It's just me documenting my thoughts on the build. Seems okay. Kind of scuffed. But I think like any build that isn't CI, isn't Ignite, you kind of like... You're not playing the game correctly, because that's like how the game works right now. But you can see with Hello? Yeah. Point blank. You know, you get up close, you put in... Is it gone? No. You have like 50k damage, 42k or whatever it was with a flask. So, it ain't bad. It's doing alright. Well, that's the update to the build. How's it going? We need to get a 6 link. If we get a 6 link, we actually then have some crit chance. I think we have like 30 crit. And then I'd probably get some crit jewelry. But at the moment, it's not worth me investing into crit. Because I don't even have 6 links yet. But there we go. Zooming in the foreign.